Hey there. I am back from 9 days in Japan, and boy, was it an amazing time. We literally got back this morning. We've been going through all of our stuff, and I'm like, if I'm going to organize all these cards, well, I'm going to have to make a video now. I spent the majority of my time in Osaka, but I also spent some time in Tokyo as well. Card shopping in Japan is incredible. I was going to do more vlog stuff, but decided that I wanted to focus more on the buying and going through all the inventory and trying to balance that with making content was rather difficult. So I did do some short form content that I'll splice in this video as I'm talking about stuff. We're doing Osaka Pokemon card shopping, going to a couple of Sea Labos and some really cool stuff later on. This has been exciting. We're going to be looking at a couple more Osaka Gengars, see if we can find a good tradable one. So, shopping Pokemon cards in Japan. They're supposed to be cheaper. They're supposed to be in better condition. Those are both true and not true. And shopping in Japan in such a high Pokemon bull market right now, it was a lot of looking around. There were cards that were raw cards that were about 150 to even 200% of the market, both raw and graded cards, especially in Akihabara and Tokyo. But there were places I was able to find cards at 90, 80, and sometimes even 70% of market. But it takes a lot of searching. And also the yellow stickers, while there were yellow sticker cards I could get, a lot of them were definitely damaged. I've watched a lot of videos of people shopping in Japan and being like, oh yeah, yellow stickers are just cards that aren't deemed perfect by Japanese standards, but there's a lot more range than led to believe. And I don't know if that's how it's always been or if just things are getting harder to find stuff. But I definitely wanted to walk you all through some of the purchases I made. I also went to the Pokemon Center. We went to Shibuya, Osaka. There's two in Osaka, and Kyoto. Kyoto is personally my favorite, with the Pikachu riding the Ho-Oh. And we got a lot of fun merch there as well, a lot of plushies. You can see the Chef Pikachu from the Pokemon Cafe back there on the windowsill. But yeah, Pokemon cards. And one of the things we got super lucky with is we got a lot of Mega Evolution, and even was able to get some Inferno X. Most of the time, they didn't have these. There's a lot of older sets. We even eventually got the Gengar box, but it was sometimes going multiple times to a Pokemon Center when we happened to be in the area and getting lucky. So, what were my goals of shopping in Japan? I wanted to find more Growlithe and Arcanines, of course. I was able to do that. I wanted to look for exclusive Japanese promos. I was able to do that. And find some cool graded cards that I was looking for, which I'm very excited to talk about that. And even find some gradables, which ended up being much more than I was expecting. So let's get into it. Let's go through the Growlithe and Arcanine stuff first. First, getting these Top Sun and Cardus cards super cool. Nin Nin had a bunch of these, and so that's where I was able to find these three, which was super cool. Nin Nin was a super awesome shop. It wasn't tax free, but their prices were still pretty good, especially if you looked around and kind of looked at different conditions on cards. Um, and then also was able to get a Coro Blaine's Growlithe, a couple of holos from Heart Gold Soul Silver, and the Team Magma. This one is super cool, which is Sandstorm in the US, but there is no holo. There's just a non-holo and a reverse holo, so getting that was super cool. There was a shop in Osaka called Adrenaline. Super cool store. Tons of graded cards, but they also had, surprisingly, a huge English collection. And I was able to get this Growlithe reverse holo that I didn't have for super cheap. I also got my wife a Expedition Gengar English, which was super cool as well. One of the biggest shops that I went to was called Card Labo, or C Labo for short. They have a ton of selection and they're tax free, which means if you spend $5,500, if you spend 5,500 yen, you get 10% off. And they had about 4 shops in Osaka. I ended up getting this Radiant Collection Pokemon Growlithe first, and then I got another one for half the price, and they're both in great condition. And that's just how it is going through Japan sometimes, with going through multiple card stores. Another set of cards that I was really looking for, these Versus Series cards. I love the art on these cards. Finding them raw in the US is pretty difficult because most of them are graded over here, so finding a couple there was super cool. Alright, McDonald's promos, of course. Again, cards that are often graded in the US, and so finding them in like light played condition for a really good price in Japan was great to add to my personal collection. The first card I got was a card I've been wanting for a long time, this Coro Mew. Again, about light played, really brought the price down for personal collection stuff. The thing that I was not expecting, it was getting 5 pretty big gradable cards. Again, there is great condition cards, and most of them were at market or even a little bit over market. Japan likes to take their grading very seriously, so if something looks gradable to be a 10, it is often marked up over there. But here are the 5 cards that I was fortunate enough to find in various shops in Japan. So first, we have a Munch Psyduck. Found this at a shop in Osaka. It didn't have an English name, so I don't remember what it is. But it's in great condition. And also with that is this Erica and Sightseer, which I did not expect to find gradable copies in a shop. They had 7 different Ericas, which was nuts, so I went through every single one. I hope my grading eye worked out and they all get 10s. And then the 2 biggest cards, a Karen's Umbreon and a Web Gengar Unlimited. These were by far my biggest purchases in Japan, but they are in beautiful condition, and I got them for pretty good prices for what they were. And now on to the graded cards that I got. There is so much in Japan, it was so hard not to just buy everything. Again, just like raw cards, there were shops that were right at market, many at 150%, but then some that I was able to find very good deals on and very surprising deals. First, some cards that I've been looking for a long time. If you know what these are from 52 card decks back in 1996. These are PCG. This is a Japanese grading company. Um, and I never found these raw. These are the only ones that I found the whole trip. I found these in Adrenaline. Um, and I just love them. And I do love the PCG slabs, so they're going to be really cool to display. The first card I made in Tokyo at TCG Lounge, which is an amazing shop, is this Mega Tokyo Pikachu. They had it for a really good price, and they're tax free, so it knocked another 10% off. So it was a no-brainer to be able to get that. I also found a nice little Pokemon Gulpin. Love the Pokemon cards, and this was just a small card that I was able to get at a great price. And you saw Munch Psyduck earlier, but I found a graded 9 at a really good price, about 80% of the last sold, maybe 82%. And the fact that I just found that, I just had to pick it up. But now, a card that you've probably seen a version of, but you might not have ever seen this card. This variant is super rare, and in the PSA 10, there's only 62 of them, which is this is a reverse holo, which is more rare than the holo, which has about 900 PSA 10s. It is this Reviving Legends reverse holo Umbreon. I found this in a shop in Shinjuku at a Magi, and I couldn't believe what I found it for and the price. And it's a beautiful card. Filming a different angle because I forgot to film this as I was going through everything because I bought so much stuff. I have to show one of the coolest pieces of history that I was able to get. This ANA 1999 envelope. And what's in this? You might have seen these cards before, but maybe not in this full packaging of these legendary birds. I got the Zapdos and Moltres. There's also an Articuno and then a Flying Pikachu promo. Being able to get it in the envelope and the original packaging, I couldn't pass it up. So what were my favorite shops? Like I said, Card Labo was amazing. You know, it was a lot to take in. There's so many cards. They're tax-free. You could spend so much time in there looking at cards and price checking and conditioning. And definitely a place worth going. If you're looking for more niche and possibly even high-end stuff, Nin, like I talked about, where I got like the Top Sun and Card cards, great place to go. They have really cool selections. They have 2 shops now in Osaka, and they even have some old packs as well. Didn't find the Blaine's deck I was looking for, but that's just how it goes. In Tokyo, I talked about TCG Lounge, just such a super cool store. The service was amazing. Everyone was super kind. Honestly, everyone was very kind at every store. There's a lot of great customer service. Some was, straight and to the point, which is totally fine. And some people were very nice and talked about the cards and stuff, which was great. And then, in Shinjuku, the Magi shop, that was a really, really hard one to be at because there was so many things that I wanted in there, but I had a budget. And let me tell you, you're going to need to go with a budget in mind. And here's my wife with some Kyoto Pokemon Center Pikachus, which are adorable. But yeah, you're going to want to go with a budget in mind because with the yen being as weak as it is compared to the dollar right now, for how much longer, who knows, it's just so easy to spend money in these card shops, even on bigger cards. And there's so much to choose from, like I said, that you're just going to want to buy it all. And there are things that I wonder if I should have bought it at the time. But in the end, I am really happy with what I got. I hope you like seeing a selection of the things. I'll be doing a lot more short form content that kind of goes over more of the cards, but I really wanted to do this video as a debrief, talk about my experiences, and I hope you really enjoy. And I will be getting back to more editing. I have long form vendor POVs that I need to get to, and some other things. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you when I make the next video. Bye.